everyone. Welcome back. It's me, Ngozi, and thank you all for joining this Tuesday, February 4th. And in today's live, I'm going to be giving a live version of my 3-year Houston update. So as I'm waiting for everyone to join, make sure you like this video, share it, be generous, share it all around. Let me just check out something real quick as people join. Be generous, share it around. All right. All right, y'all. How y'all doing this Tuesday? We haven't gone live in 2 weeks. Happy February to everybody. Thank you all for joining. I'm not going to be long, but today I'm going to be discussing my 3-year Houston update. I cannot believe tomorrow actually makes exactly 3 years since I left New Jersey and moved to Houston. So I was listening to my 2-year update before going live just to have an idea of what I was talking about, what I discussed, what were some of the questions asked. And I was like kind of getting emotional. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it feels like that was just yesterday and a year has already passed. Because I mentioned something like 2023 and I'm like, wait, isn't that my tweet? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was 2024 and I was talking about the year before, which was 2023. Like these years are just gone. They're going so quick. We already done with January, already in February. So make sure you like this video as you join in. I'm going to start. So I know the big question, I'll get to the end, is whether I'm staying. But for those who are new to the channel, my name is Ngozi. I'm one of two of the channel. Nnena, my twin sister, she lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I decided to move to Houston 3 years ago, even though she lives in Charlotte. She moved before me. And give a little bit of backstory. I first visited Houston in 2020. Yes, the year of the pandemic. And I was really like a tourist. And I think it's really important when you visit somewhere, like the type of experience you have, because I think it really shapes how you view like a city or a place. So it was my first time here, and it was with my cousin. And I think back to like a lot of the places that we went to, the type of things that we did. Since moving here, I've never visited those places. Like we were just going around, touring here, going to this park, going to this spot, like all the popular places. And I really, really liked Houston. So it was always in my mind, like this was one of the potential places I could move to. And I even had gotten like licensed down here, but I wasn't getting any like leads. So I just stayed in New Jersey for like a year and a half. We're just working on some things, getting some things together. And I remember coming back from Nigeria in January of 2022, and I'm like, I gotta move next month. Like I was just so over my situation, so over the cold. I was like, just want to go. And excuse me, I found a spot online, which I ended up not liking. If you're a loyal subscriber, you know my story with my place and the roaches and all that stuff. And I moved in February. And honestly, when I think back to like me being here 3 years, it wasn't easy. And I understand more and more why people like stay where they are, even though they're not like crazy about it or they're not like quick to like jump around, because I feel like we like kind of like glamorize like moving is fun, but we don't really talk about like the other part of it, right? It being a little stressful, starting building up community from scratch. I think that's the big one. And I think that is what like heavily influences people's experiences in the city. When I go through like threads or comments and I see people like talking about like struggling in the city or not liking it, it's usually because they don't have community, if we're being honest. I seldom see people who like have a bunch of friends or out all the time who are complaining about where they live. I don't really see that. I think most times is that they don't have, they don't have their tribe. And I could definitely understand how that would affect your experience anywhere. So it's been 3 years. Yeah, I'm going to go through some of the questions. Make sure you're and ask any questions if you have. I'm not going to be here long. But the first question is, okay, Nana's moderating. Why did you choose Houston, Texas? So I kind of went into it. Like the first time I visited, I really liked it. I knew a few people here. I know right before I was moving a lot, so I remember someone being like, oh, why don't you just go to Dallas? And I know we have like this back and forth conversation with Dallas, but I don't know anyone in Dallas. And I talk about this to people relocating. I know it may sound cute and fun, but I personally would not recommend anyone to move to a city where they don't know anyone. Unless you're moving for like work, you have a job, or you're moving like for school. But just to up and go and move somewhere where you don't know anybody, I wouldn't recommend that. It's not easy. Like for real, it's not easy. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you dependent. It doesn't make you needy. It's just the reality of getting older, moving and meeting people and building those, building those relationships is not as easy as it is when you're younger. And when you're forced to do it, when you're just constantly around a larger number of people, whether it's at work, school, whatever. So that's really why I picked Houston, to be honest. And yeah, I don't have any regrets thus far. Make sure this is. Make sure this is. Here. Make sure this. All right. So I'll go to the next question. Do you think Houston is overrated? I think it depends. Yes and no. It depends what you're looking for. It depends what you want out of a city. I think a lot of good things are overrated, to be honest. Beyonce is overrated, but she's also very talented and she's really good. So I don't take overrated as like being like a negative thing. I think it just really depends on like what you're looking for and like why you would say it's overrated. So for example, if someone was like, "Oh, I'm moving here," like I don't know. I think it just really just depends. It's a major city, fourth largest city, about to be the third largest city. So I think people don't understand that it's just a very big place. And with any major city, there's going to be some of these common issues that people in Houston as well experience. Certain things may be a little bit niche to Houston because of the demographic. And yeah, we'll keep it at that. And I mentioned this in my second year update, but with any major city, you're gonna have certain challenges: traffic, crime, um, dating. Like there's certain things that are usually just an issue. Homelessness, that's a big issue in Houston. And to be honest, I have videos talking about how I just really didn't expect it, and I didn't even think of that moving here. I don't know whether because of the South, I just thought, oh, it's not as expensive. I was a bit naive, but I didn't realize how bad the homelessness issue is until I got down here. So yeah, the issues that are most of the issues that are specific to Houston, they are issues that you will experience in any large city. So I don't think it's particularly overrated. Houston is amazing. Yes, it is. Are you in Houston? Are you a native or did you relocate here? And I think that's another thing too. Like when you go to a lot of the vlogs, a lot of sites, there's a lot of conversation back and forth. People are saying like Houston is full, don't move here, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. The city has, even in the 3 years I've been here, the city has changed so much. So I can understand like the natives and people that are here, like how they can feel, like, with the costs going up, or just like a lot of people from outside, changing the culture of their city. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you're a native, you should also take it like a compliment that your city is so lit and is so great that people want to come there. Because be honest, like people are not rushing to go to like freaking Idaho or like, some other cities, Des Moines, Iowa. Like people are not flocking it because it's not lit. So there's a reason why people are flocking Houston, because they see so much opportunity there, and they see people doing well. They see how much it has to offer. So I feel, and I get it. People are very sensitive and very particular when it comes to where they're from. People take a lot of pride in whether it's their city, their country, where they are from. It's a thing of pride. So I get it, but I don't think people should be like so offended or like kind of mean when speaking to people like us who moved here, because I feel like at the end of the day, even though we may be driving up some costs, we're still bringing a lot to the city as well. And I think it just kind of makes it a better place, in my opinion. But yeah, I first visited Houston in 2020, so I don't know the old Houston. I've heard a lot of things about it, stories, the partying, the lifestyle, things like that. But I don't know the old Houston, so I can't speak to that because the first time I visited was 2020 and I moved here in 2022. But even still, like I said, being here for 3 years, I've noticed so much change from cost of things to places that were open that are no longer open, that have closed. You know what I mean? I'm just like, wow, this much can change in 3 years. Imagine 5 years, imagine 10 years. So I can only imagine how much, the natives have seen their city change. And I think that is also contributes to why they, sometimes feel, some of them feel the way they feel about people like us coming into the scene. Hey, hey, Evie. Thank you, girl. Yes, tomorrow exactly makes 3 years. It's crazy. Time flies. Time flies. But yeah, I just met a subscriber on Sunday. Let me see. Oh my God, I don't want to. I have her number. I want to make sure I say her name right. Is it Bosa? Let me make sure I say her name right. Oh, I met a subscriber on Sunday. She just moved. Yeah, Bosa. Hi, Bosa, if you're watching. She just moved last month. And she watches my videos. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy I was able to help with your transition. And she's also a little younger. And I always think like if I moved to Houston, like in like my like mid or early 20s, I feel like I would have had such a different experience. Because to be honest, where I am right now, like when it comes down to like social life, I would say I'm kind of picky and like selective for where I go to, but I feel like if I was a little bit younger and like, I would be more like out there and ready to like do certain things, like try certain places more. And I'll also speak to how I feel now at 3 years. I feel like at the 1 year, it's like I don't even have enough. I haven't even seen enough. I haven't explored. I have so much more to see. At 2 years, I was like, oh my God, like it's still fun and exciting. That was like my first real summer in Houston, like my second year. The first year I was traveling a lot and some other stuff. So I feel like 2023 was like my first real summer in Houston, and it was so much fun, right? So I feel like this year now at 3 years, where I feel like I'm kind of getting more like I'm more things are more routine. I'm more familiar with things, and I feel like I noticed that I kind of have to force myself to do things more, right? Like I feel like the first year when I think about like networking events I would go to and things I would like, see events, Eventbrite, just go. Even in 2023, I feel like I was more like I was more in my like exploring phase. I was more open to like trying new things, checking spots out. I think to myself now, like, when was the last time I really gone out? Like, when was the last time I went somewhere new that I've never heard of? I mean, I went to a new restaurant on Saturday, but other than like food, I'm talking about like real proper activities. I still haven't been to soccer game, still haven't been to a Texan game, still haven't been to a Rockets game. And I said last year I was gonna do these things, still haven't been to Austin. So I'm like, nah, this I feel like I wanna force myself. I've even like already planned a trip to San Antonio in a few months. Like I want to force myself to not only explore Houston more, but explore Texas more. Because the reality is that like anything can happen. Things change. I could not be here long term, and I don't want to look back and feel like I should have done this, that, and that when it was more convenient, when I was actually here, when it was open, blah blah blah. So that's what I want to do this year in my third year. I really want to explore more, and I really want to kind of go back to exploring the city the way I did when I was just fresh here, when I had just moved here. I feel like I'm too comfortable now, and I'm just okay with just missing out on stuff, just sitting in my apartment, just relaxing, watching TV. Like I feel like I'm not like finding out new things as much as I used to, and I've noticed that. And I'm like, nah, I want to change that. But yeah, make sure I like the video. Let me drink some water. Yeah. Okay. What do you dislike about Houston, Texas? That's a good question because I was watching my second year update and I talked about disliking like the whole parking, how they want to charge you to park everywhere and how it makes going out expensive and like not liking. What did I say I didn't like? I didn't like that. I didn't like how it was a little bit segregated. But I would add to that, I feel like what I don't like, I just feel like Houston is not a really scenic city, to be honest. Like there's some parts that are like are really like nice to look at. But when you think about like a lot of major cities, even somewhere like Dallas, I feel like things look prettier, things look nicer. Like when I drive through Houston, even like areas that are like allegedly like highbrow or whatever, I just feel like it doesn't give the vibe, like especially when you talk about like housing and what they be trying to charge. Like it doesn't give that vibe. So I think in terms of development, maybe that's something they could work on. I know the zoning is also what contributes to that. You just have a lot of random things just thrown next to each other just for the sake of. Yeah, even the road. Oh my God, Houston roads are not good. So many potholes. I be like every second I'm checking my tire pressure. I'm so shocked my tires are still good because I feel like I'm always hitting a pothole, always going over something, especially in that southwest area. The roads are not good, and they're always fixing the roads, but the roads are still not good. So I don't know what they're fixing. So I would say that's what I dislike about Houston. But in terms of what I do like, of course, what I like definitely outweighs what I don't like. I like the weather. I have my AC on right now, y'all. It was 81 degrees in my apartment. I just put on my AC because I get hot when I'm filming because of this light, and I'm wearing long sleeve. I put my AC on. Mind you, like 2 weeks ago, it was snowing. I don't know if y'all heard about that snowstorm. Did we go live? We went live. Did we go live that Tuesday? Yeah, that day it snowed. So it's just, I like the weather. I like that it's predominantly warm. Like, I don't like cold. I have no interest in cold. I'm ready for the winter to be over. I hope we don't get any cold fronts or anything. I mean, we probably will. It's just February, but I like the weather. I like the culture, and I like that there's always something to do. And I feel like people are pretty friendly. I feel like people are pretty open. I feel like when I like read stuff about people in like different cities, not to say that the people in Houston will experience this, but I feel like because a lot of people moved here from somewhere else, I feel like people are open to meeting people, like opening up. I don't, I personally have that experience of like struggling to make friends or not really being able to meet people or not meeting people who I can trust. And I'm blessed because I know that's not everybody's experience. So I do like Houston. Do you plan on going to the rodeo bull ranch? Yeah, I've been to the rodeo last year and the year before, so I do plan to go this year. But I saw that Bumby's tickets are like $300. I'm like, Bumby, you got to stop that. That is, come on now. So I don't know if I want to go to the actual concert, any of the concerts, but I want to go to the actual rodeo for sure. It's going to be fun. Hey, hi, I've been seeing your comments. Hey, can you see yourself making Texas your home where you will stay? Great question. Thank you for the question, Naima. I say this all the time because even I'm a part of my life, career wise, for the stuff that, being honest, Texas might not be the best place for me if I don't make certain changes or I'm not able to get certain opportunities in the next few years. But me personally, I've been saying this on this channel forever. I don't see myself leaving Texas, at least. Like I can see myself living I can see myself living in Dallas for sure. I can see myself. I haven't been to Austin. I'm done. San Antonio, I told you I already booked my San Antonio trip. So I want to go to the other major cities in Texas, but I don't see myself leaving Texas. Like I don't see myself saying here, I'm going to Atlanta or I'm going to like Louisiana or something. Like, I don't see myself going to another city or going to another state. I can say I'm going to the city within Texas, but not another state, if that makes sense. And I can't give up that state, no state income tax. So it's like either Florida, Tennessee, like there's no other state, excuse me, y'all. There's no other state that doesn't pay state income taxes that hits like Texas. I'm sorry. I'm saying it with my full chest. There's no other state. I'm not going to no Delaware. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, I don't see myself living in Texas, but never say never. And I always say if I saw myself moving somewhere outside of Texas, it most likely would be New Jersey because that's where I'm from and my family's there. It's familiar. I don't know, people trying like hype. Like I said, moving is not easy. Like I'm still finishing up my apartment in 2 years. Like moving is not easy. I know sometimes we have to glamorize it. Oh, I want to explore. You don't have to move to explore. You can go on vacations. Like I'm not about to be jumping all around the world. I don't have time for that. Like I don't have energy rebuilding, meeting people again, learning the city. Like I'm not interested. And says you get lonely. It's funny. That's a great question. I watched something yesterday and talking about the importance of community and about being around people. And I feel like it's kind of weird how we just normalize like kind of living by ourselves, especially at this point of our lives. Um, I wouldn't say I get. Let me answer the question this way. I don't feel like I allow myself or give myself the space to get lonely. I'm when there's certain people that like talk about like idle and like their minds wandering, I keep myself busy. Yeah, I'm almost cancel this live. I'm tired. Like I literally finished work like an hour ago. I have other like I'm always like I need to chill on my to-do list. I put too much on it. Maybe what's the word? Is it an overachiever or like a what's the word they use for those people? I know how to keep myself busy. And that could be a tactic to avoid the loneliness. I don't know. But I feel like I've been like that for a while. I feel like I always have so much to do. Like I don't even have the time to sit down and even feel loneliness if I'm being honest. I don't. But I definitely think, especially once I start having kids or my family starts having kids, I want all of us to be next to each other. We're working on that. I don't want to be like my sister's here, my cousins are there. I don't want that. Like I know how my childhood, some of my best childhood memories were with my cousins. It was so much like us going to this house, like how fun it, like how excited you'd be. It's kind of like it's just the simple things like we would be so excited to see each other. And I want our children to have the bond that we have. So someone's gonna have to, take the L. I'm willing to do it for the family. I'm willing to do it. So, but we figure out whenever that happens, we'll deal with it. But like, I don't want this person in this state, that person in that state. No, is even then, we being hard headed, we fighting each other. She's anti Houston. She claims she's not, but she don't like Houston. So we'll see. Like I don't see myself moving to Charlotte. Personally, I just feel like that's going backwards. Like I don't feel like that's moving forward. We're moving to a place like Charlotte. No offense to your Charlotte people, don't come for me. So we don't know what the future holds. I always say my parents are not in Houston. I don't have a job in Houston. I can work anywhere in America. So at the end of the day, if I had to make a move, I would, and it wouldn't be the end of the world. But to answer the question, am I staying? I renewed my lease, and I will be here for at least another year, God willing. So I'm staying in Houston, y'all. And I really want to take advantage of this additional year here and really, really branch out, like really do the things that I've been like no talking. I'm tired of myself. I was watching my 2 year update. I'm like, Ngozi, I'm tired of you. Every second you're gonna go here, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, nothing. You haven't done it. So I'm over myself to be honest. So I'm just ready to explore the city, have fun, and just have a great year, God willing. Hi Jay, are you new to the channel? I haven't seen you before, and I talked about that a little earlier. Must have just joined about how when I was moving here, some people were like, "Oh, go to Dallas." I don't know anyone in Dallas. I didn't have any friends in Dallas. I still don't. So me personally, I wouldn't advise anyone to just move somewhere just to be cute and just to be exotic and different. Unless you're moving for work or you're moving unless you're moving for work or you're moving for school, I would not recommend anyone to move somewhere where they don't know people. So I know a few people in Houston. I have some extended family here. That's why I chose Houston. It's a little bit less expensive. So I don't regret it. I don't know what I've been doing in Dallas by myself. It's bad enough I moved where I didn't know that many people. So but I'm not anti-Dallas. I could end up there in the future. But that's why I moved to Houston. Yeah, yes, Naima, I'm here. Are you in Houston, Naima? I think I've seen some of your comments recently. Nevada, I've never even been to Nevada, and I know a few people that moved from Nevada to Houston. I don't see what I'll be doing in Nevada. I thought you were against moving to Dallas. No, lovely. Hey, lovely. I'm not against moving to Dallas, but I would need a reason. Like, I'm not going to just pack up and say, I'm going to Dallas. Dee, 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 dee. Like, no, I would need a good job there. I would need, like, my husband there. Like, I would need a reason. Like, I wouldn't just pick up now and say, I'm going to Dallas or anywhere. Like, to do what? Like, that's my thing. Like, I'm starting all over, building community, looking. No, I don't, like I said, I don't really have connections there, so I just don't want to start all over again. Um, okay, I've been thinking about moving to Texas and said, "Oh, nice. Where are you right now? Oh, lovely. You're leaving Dallas. Why? How long have you been there? And if you don't mind, where are you going? If not, you don't have to share. But okay, you are in Dallas. Yes, to consistency, but this you come in busy with the quality of what you choose to be busy with match to. Of course, yes. I don't want to always be going work, going to this, going to that. Have to read book. Like I need to slow down. Like trust me, I'm working on that. After this live, I'm gonna be in bed by 9:30 p.m. latest. Like I'm I need to like slow it down. But I just had some projects I had to work on yesterday and today. So it's been long. Texas is a huge state with so much to do. I really plan on visiting soon. I would love to meet you. No problem. Where you are now. And yes, I said, like, I feel like I'm not even exploring. You have freaking like Laredo. You have all these places like 10 hours away, Lubbock. Like, some places are more rural, right? Like people are not really going to go. But like, for example, the men's Final Four is in San Antonio. And I like college basketball. So I was like, this is the perfect time for me to be in San Antonio when I was looking for hotels last month and nothing. It took me hours to find one basic hotel that is overpriced. Like it's gonna be lit in San Antonio the first week of April. College basketball Final Four and Final Two. So of course you will always go to these places, but it's always better to go when something is happening, so you don't have to plan too much. I think that's also what gives me the anxiety. Is like planning the schedule, having to have a routine. Like for example, Afrotech. For y'all that want to visit Houston, October 27th to the 31st. Don't be hating when people are online and y'all saying that people are there for dating because y'all not there. That would be a great time for someone to visit Houston, or even OTC that's in May, that's coming up. Like it's an oil and gas convention, or even like the rodeo that's in March. Like it doesn't mean you can't always come to Houston, but like when something is already happening, it makes it easier for the planning process. So that's why I'm just like I got to get the other parts of Texas as well and explore Houston more and go within Texas more. I've been to Dallas so many times. I don't need to go to Dallas again unless some things like really happening there. Like I've been to Dallas too many times. I want to go to other cities in Texas. Hi, lovely. Oh, you going back to Chicago? That's where you from. I've never been to Chicago, but I heard it's so cold. I don't like you about to go back to the cold. Why is it not letting me click your comment? You about to go back to the cold. Yeah, and I say you saying it's your hometown. I get it. Like I say all the time, I don't like the cold, but I can always go back to New Jersey because that's where I'm from. I wouldn't now go and move to Boston. I wouldn't now go and move to like New York. I'm not from there. Why would I go to another place that's cold and it's not where I'm from? It's not my comfort zone. But I definitely understand going back to where you're from because it's like it's that familiarity, like for sure. Oh, oh, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with that. What's wrong with Dallas, if you don't mind? Jay's asking. Jay is the Dallas advocate. He's asking. NCAA loves hosting championships. Yes, 2023. We went to Dallas for the women's final, the championship game. The Final Four was here as well, but we didn't go. So he went to Dallas, and then Houston hosted the men's Final Four and championship game. So I went to the men's Final Four. So even like stuff like that, like how could they be host? Even though I was tight, the four teams ended up being in the Final Four were not it, and like the tickets we bought dropped like to like a fourth of the price. And I was fighting with Ticketmaster. I'm still blocked on Ticketmaster because I was trying to fight them and I can't buy tickets on Ticketmaster. I need to remove that hold because one time I was trying to buy tickets for something and I realized that I was blocked because of that, like trying to fight that charge. I was so annoyed. I'm like, how could that be happening in Houston? I don't go. And then when it wants to happen in another state, I'm flying, I'm getting a hotel, I'm incurring all these costs now. I would love to meet you one day before I leave Texas. Okay, cool. I don't know when you're leaving, but I might be in Dallas. So I think I'm going to be in Dallas over the summer. So you can just email us. We'll follow up. But yeah, that'd be great. I'm in mid Georgia, and honestly, there's not much to do here except if I go to Atlanta, where in Texas there's so many huge cities with plenty to do. Also, Georgia is not big like Texas. Yeah, and I agree. And like I say, me and I always have these conversations about Atlanta versus Houston. People compare them a lot. They're not siblings, but they're like cousins. I personally prefer Houston. I feel like it's just better in my opinion, socially and for some other reasons. But you're not in Atlanta, so I understand. Like even though people could be like, "Oh, Atlanta's close to," you still have to drive there versus like living there, so it's a different experience. And Texas is definitely bigger. There's more like major cities. Texas has like four of like the top like 15 populated cities in America. You have actually five. You have Fort Worth, you have Dallas, you have Houston, you have San Antonio, and you have Austin. So there's a lot in Texas. Texas is so big. LOL. EP said Dallas always felt mid to me. People fighting to be relevant and pretentious. Infrastructure a bit prettier than Houston. Yes, that's not, I said all the time, I always rep Houston. We have this one video, the comments, people are going back and forth. People said Dallas is the old money, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I've been to Dallas like really like 10 times. I've never felt anything crazy there, like for sure. And I just feel like it doesn't cater to our people as much. So I can understand that whole like pretentious thing people speaking to, because it is like it's not really like as many Black people, or doesn't like the social scene doesn't cater to us in the same way that it does in Houston. For example, I wish Nana was on this live. When she was here a couple weeks ago, we went to Joey's, And then we left, and then I was like, oh, that's like a black spot. And I was kind of offended. I was like, what? I was like, no, it's not. It's a mixed crowd. Straight Ngozi. Most of the people in Joey's is black. And honestly, I never realized that. Like, I never went into somewhere like Joey Uptown thinking like, oh, majority of people there are black. I just always felt like it was like very mixed because that's like one of like my go-to like favorite spots in Houston. I love the vibe, I love the crowd. They be playing Afro beats, blah blah blah. So it kind of and they just opened one in Dallas, I believe last year, late 2023 as well. So it kind of it brings back the point how like I feel like Houston caters more to us because when I go to Dallas, I'll visit Joey's there, but I can almost bet you it's not going to be the vibe that it is in Houston. It's not going to be a black spot like Nana referred to it in Houston. I can almost guarantee you. So I feel like that's what sets Houston apart is that like they really make a space for black people. And a lot of cities can't really boast it outside like Atlanta, DMV, like even New York that people talk about. I lived in Jersey, I went to New York. I feel like New York was still very hard, like to find like a professional blacks. I don't know. Like I feel like it's there for sure. You have the different boroughs, but I feel like it's still not as accessible as it is in Houston, in my opinion. Ross Kasher, hey, how you been? It's been a while. Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Nevada, Arizona, pay no single. Yep, and yep, you got it. Yep. So I'm saying out of all of those cities, out of all of those states, like I don't care for any of them except for Texas, to be honest. Fort Worth, Whittier, and Dallas, yeah, people be lumping them together, but they're not the same. They're like 45 minutes, even could be like an hour from each other. So like Fort Worth and Dallas are two like major cities in Texas. They're not the same thing. I know they have that airport, Fort Worth, whatever. So I feel like people kind of look at them as the same, but they're not. And that's why to me, people always complain about Houston being so spread out. Dallas is to me more spread out than Houston, to be honest, because Dallas has another major city that's close to it that people lump together. Houston is spread out, yes, with the suburbs, but just imagine Dallas. Dallas has the suburbs. Then Fort Worth has its suburbs, and then people kind of bundle them all together. I feel like Dallas is that area, that Dallas Fort Worth area is way more spread out than Houston. We also have Waco, which you pass it on your way to Dallas. It's about 2.5 hours from Houston. That's where Baylor is. I've passed that a few times. So yeah, there's so many big cities in Texas, and I love that. To be honest, the best state for no income tax, and you can make most of possible is Washington State. Really, Washington does have state income tax? I didn't know that. Really? I didn't know that. And Seattle's in Washington, right? Well, I'm gonna visit this year. I've never been. I did not know they don't have state income taxes. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm gonna visit. But then do they have the vibes? Do they have it gets cold there? I don't like winter. I don't like winter. My social life sucks in Dallas. The people are fake bougie, lack of culture, don't like. Yeah, girl, come to. Yes, lovely. Come visit Houston. I will host you. Come visit. Just let me know. Email Ejima at gmail.com and I will host you. I say it all the time. Like people in Dallas be in Houston every weekend. Like I'm not I could live in Dallas. No shade to Dallas, but Dallas doesn't move me. Like I wouldn't. To me, leaving Houston to go to Dallas would just be like, why? Like if I don't have like a solid reason, but I get it. People feel like, oh, Houston is too ghetto, is this, is that, and that does exist. But I feel like that's what any major city, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of like black areas, like black establishments. I feel like it's very easy for it to get a little ratchet, but ratchet is fun here and there. It's fun to be a little ratchet in there, but that's not my go-to. That's not my vibe. That's not where I'm going to go hang out every weekend. So I definitely understand people's concerns, but y'all know my advice I've been given on this channel. If you don't want to avoid ratchet, go to mixed crowds. Don't just because you're black does not mean everything you go to has to be a black owned spot, has to be a black restaurant, a black bar, black club. I get it. I'm not anti-black. This is Black History Month, and we're gonna have some really fun content coming up this month exploring the black scene in both Charlotte and Houston. But go to mixed crowds. Like don't limit yourself and feel like I have to go to this because it's a black spot. No. Because some of them spots be getting real ratchet. Trust me. Also, I hate cold weather. Really hot weather. I hate cold weather. It's the opposite. I can't do Chicago. I'm scared. You couldn't catch me there in the winter. If they talk about the winters are so bad, couldn't catch me there. Tampa, Florida is hot spot. People are moving to. I've been hearing a lot about Tampa. I want to visit. Ross Cash. Don't tell anybody. I haven't been to Miami. I'm so ashamed to say this at my big age. I've never been to Miami. I booked the trip in 2020, but I had to cancel it due to the pandemic. But I really want to. I've been hearing so much about Tampa. I really want. I feel like I might as well just try and hit Tampa and Miami when I go to Florida, because you may be like, oh, you can always go back, but I haven't even been to Miami yet. So yeah, I've been hearing a lot of great things about Tampa and the Black scene in Tampa, so I really want to visit. Dallas is small compared to Houston. Yes, the actual Dallas. But like I said, Dallas and its metros, people in McKinney City live in Dallas. People in let me start naming these suburbs. People in all these little suburbs surrounding Dallas. It's like Houston State, they live in Dallas. So remember, there's a metro area. And like I mentioned, because Fort Worth is still relatively close, Fort Worth's distance is like freaking Richmond from me, which is the Houston metro, is a Houston suburb. So because Fort Worth is still within an hour of Dallas, people still lump them all together. So a lot of people even saying they live in Dallas live closer to Fort Worth. So that's what I mean saying that I feel like Dallas is more spread out, including its suburbs and then the Fort Worth and its suburbs. There's more higher paying jobs in Washington, even entry level. However, if you like partying, Coach Houston, Washington Blues in the area, yeah, I just feel like social. Like I haven't been. I'm gonna go this year. You know that one. So I'm excited to see. But I just don't see like me leaving Houston to go to like you know what I mean. Like I just don't see like it being like a place you would go just like move just to move. But I'm excited to check it out. Plus, I want to live near water. Dallas doesn't have water. Chicago doesn't. Yeah, that's the thing about Texas. Period. That's another thing I was saying. I don't like. You don't have beaches. I went to Galveston 2 years ago. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, no. I will get on a flight and go to Mexico if I go to Galveston again. There's no beaches down here. There's no water for sure. Like I miss that about New Jersey. We have some of the best beaches in New Jersey. We don't pump gas and we don't pay tax on clothes. So Jersey, stand up. I like Houston. Yes, lovely. Thank you for putting some respect on Houston. Washington State have no state income but capital taxes. That's why Jeff Bezos moved to Florida. Don't have capital tax. He saved $1 billion by moving to Florida. Okay. Florida overall is beautiful and very scenic, but some of the laws there can be scary for blacks. I can see that. Yeah, Florida don't move me. I don't see myself. I want to move to Florida now, even though it's hot and it's one of the hottest. It is hotter than Texas, I believe. It's a hot. Yeah, it gets really hot there. I've never saw myself like, oh, I want to live in Florida. No, people talk about that natural disasters here. I feel like Florida has so many natural disasters. I just think of snakes. I think of wildlife. I don't know. Maybe I'm being ignorant, but like I don't. I've never thought about living in Florida. The average person has to worry about capital taxes. Not everyone should be. Hello, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, y'all. I'm gonna round up. Thank you all so much for joining. But yeah, that's basically my experience. 3 years. Talked about what I liked, what I disliked, and basically the goal is just to do more, explore more. Just not Houston, but also the state of Texas, because Texas is a great state. There's so much to offer, so much to see, so many things come here, so many events, conferences, like there's always something happening, even like professional wise. So I like living in Houston. It's not perfect, nowhere is. We didn't talk about the dating part because people love to talk about that. I could do a separate live on that. You know my stance. Don't move anywhere for dating. Nowhere is easy. Everyone is having challenges in every city across the world at this point, especially in America and Western countries. So I don't believe in someone moving to a place because they want to find love. Like I don't, not to say that can't be maybe one of your reasons in addition to other stuff, but solely picking a city or state, especially a woman, with the hopes of like finding your husband. I don't subscribe to that. I don't tell people to do that. Move somewhere based on the culture, the vibe, your job, you know what I mean, your industry, you know, social wise, just things that are important to you that are more guaranteed. Like I said, you can meet people anywhere. There's no perfect place. So but there's a lot of people in Houston. There's always something to do. So I think it also makes it kind of easier to meet people for sure. But yeah, I won't get too much into that. Yeah, I hope you celebrate my. Yes, I'm going to celebrate this weekend. I've been good. I've been in January saving money and relaxing. I feel like February is like starting and it's like 80 degrees all week. Like it's really nice in Houston this week. So that's also gingering me to like be outside and be social. But I feel like I've been chilling. But if anyone doesn't have any more specific questions, um, yeah, lovely email me. email us so we can arrange that. If anyone doesn't have any specific questions, I'm gonna leave it here. Yes, girl. I'm telling you, like it's nice this week, and I feel like I feel like, but I don't know if Groundhog Day was Sunday. I don't know if he came out or not, but I feel like it's gonna be done. Like I think winter is done, and I'm happy. So thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and tuning into my 3-year Houston, Texas update. Make sure you like this video, share, and subscribe. And if you're thinking about moving to Houston, Texas, we have a Houston, Texas playlist. We also have a Houston, Texas real estate playlist. So make sure you watch all those videos there so you can make an informed decision. So, it's always different when you move somewhere, but we have the resources and we have the videos so you can move here and be an informed consumer. So we will see you all next Tuesday, and then I will be back for a fun live. Have a good night. Bye.